In the 1990s, Herb Baumeister seemed to be living the American dream. The 48-year-old was a successful business owner. Let's do that again. I've already fucking sound like I'm on
We-
fucking drugs and shit.
We took somas on the last episode. We can't do it again.
All right. In the 1990s, Herb Baumeister seemed to be living the American dream. A 48-year-old successful business owner with wife and 3 kids in an 11,000 square foot mansion sprawling over an 18 acres lot on the outskirts of Indianapolis, Indiana. But deep down, beneath his false facade, there was a man hiding a secret life. One that would not only prove fatal for Herb Baumeister, but for up to 20 other victims, some of which still linger and haunt the grounds of his former home to this day.
It's evil! Don't touch it!
It's alive!
I was with you.
They're coming to get you. By the power of Christ. This is
Me?
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What's going on, Mr. Spar? Did you come down off the somas?
Finally, I didn't know those were going to be so impactful as what they were. I get why the wrestlers feel the way they do. We probably shouldn't have done that. That was a dumb fucking little episode that we tried to do.
Well, shouldn't have double dosed anyway for me.
I'm a big guy. I can,
Yeah, I can handle it. Yeah, towards the end there, I was starting to feel pretty good.
It wasn't fun toward the end. It was like I needed a nap.
Yeah,
I was like, Ben Wall's not as big as me. I can take 2. If he's taking 6.
I needed a Benoit beignet.
Yeah. I'll get into that too.
So what's new and exciting?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. Same old. Not much new and exciting.
I think we should probably let people know that we've started doing a live stream once a week. You can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Facebook. You can find us at our handle is just at HMFPPOD. You and follow us on both of those, and you can also continue to get your podcast right here wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna get some guests on real soon, and always look forward to hear from everybody that gets on and asks us questions. And
Absolutely.
irate comments we're getting. That's always fun.
Come contribute. Come be part of it if you want to. It's like we actually do have guests lined up for this Saturday, so we will have at least 2 people on to talk about some experiences that they had. And just to let you know that it's not going to be scary. Who gives a shit if it's live? We don't care. Listen to us talk.
Huh?
You can exactly. You can do it. You can do it too.
Yep, it's it. All right, you want to get into old Herb the Herb?
I can't wait.
All right, this guy was a fucking weirdo, dude.
Yep.
Super huge weirdo. Herb Baumeister. He was born April 7th, 1947 in Indianapolis, Indiana. He was the oldest of 4 siblings, born to parents Herbert and Elizabeth Baumeister.
Was he a junior? Is that?
Yeah.
He's a junior. Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if he was or not. It's just Herb. And maybe his father has the formal version of Herbert. But
okay.
They don't call him Herbert. They call him Herb.
Yep.
Anyway, his dad was an anesthesiologist. And, he had a really normal childhood growing up until he hit adolescent, like right at the time he hit puberty, he started doing some fucking weird shit.
Okay. What are we doing?
Let's just say weird shit. He would play with dead. He played with dead animals.
That's weird.
Check mark.
No.
He liked to sometimes squeeze the dead animals. He said it made him feel powerful.
This guy already.
He also became very obsessed with urinating. He would talk about, hey, I wonder what it's like to drink pee. Yeah.
Okay, a little weird, I suppose.
Just just like Ed Gein, he was considered a fucking weirdo. Everybody said he was quite an oddball.
This guy's already weirder than Ed Gein was when he was a kid.
Oh yeah, he gets it's his dad actually went and had him evaluated, like went and had him evaluated in a psychiatric care unit, and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. At this
Oh
early
man,
age.
that's so common in our conversations, is it not?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking.
But even though he was diagnosed, they didn't do anything about it because at the time, shock treatment was like one of the only things, and they're like, no, can't do that, right? So I get it.
Not back in the day, you didn't want to, man. That was rough.
Yeah,
It's rough shit.
So old Herb, he didn't really change his ways too much from this point. He has, let's see, he left a dead bird on his teacher's desk at one point.
Was
he
it like
also,
a threat, or was it like leaving her an
no,
apple? Was he that fucking
yeah,
weird? Like he thought it was a gift? So
yeah.
he's a fucking cat.
No. He might be a dog too, because he also pissed on the teacher's desk a couple times. just pissed on the desk.
Okay. I don't know a lot about this story, but man, when you started off like that, it's just like bad shit's coming.
Yeah. Okay, so all throughout high school, never dated.
No.
And I'd say if you're pissing on desks and playing with dead things, I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Show up to take the girl to prom, and instead of like the corset or whatever you give them, you got a fucking dead raven. Here, wrap this around your wrist. This is pretty.
This is a dead snake. Why don't you wrap it around your neck?
Hang on, your shoes look dry. Let me piss on those for you and liven them up.
I'll shine them right up, baby.
I can't believe this guy was singing.
Give them a nice golden tint. So in 1965, Herb goes off to college at Indiana University for a whole semester before he drops out.
Fucking huger.
And then the next year, he goes back to drop out again. But during this second year, he meets his wife, his future wife, Julie. And when asked about one of their first dates, she says that he picked her up in a hearse and took her and several of her friends to, I don't remember if it was a basketball game, a football game, but it was a pretty far away.
Yeah.
So this weirdo fucking put the lights on the hearse, puts on a chauffeur hat, and just like honks the horn and drives super fast and makes people fucking pull over, and he's just laughing the whole time. That's kind of a fucking weird thing to do, right?
But he did get married, so folks, there is someone out there for everyone. Don't be down on yourself if you're single right now. You can. This guy found someone.
Or is there? Okay, so they got married in 1971. His father helped him get several jobs. The first being for a newspaper, and from which he got fired for odd behavior. And then with the DMV, where he also urinated on his boss's desk several times, but he didn't get fired for that.
Okay, yeah, well, I don't blame him, too, because I've been to the DMV and I didn't think about jumping up there pissing on the desk after the way I was treated.
Okay, so during his time here, he sent Christmas cards out one year with a picture of himself and another man dressed in drag.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a joke. Doesn't really
or was that his thing? Was that what he was into?
He's definitely into pissing on shit.
That sounds like it.
What finally got him fired from the DMV was when he mailed a letter to the governor of Indiana that he had pissed on.
Jeez. He is obsessed with piss.
Yeah. So during their first
did he have
year,
like bottles of his own urine, like
I don't know, man,
just like canning jars of it, just
saved up in the backseat of the car. Yeah, god damn. So during the 70s, at one point, probably in their first 3 years of marriage, Herb's father would commit him to a mental institution for a period when he had mental breakdown.
Okay.
And if you're pissing on letters to the governor and pissing on your boss's desk, yeah,
that sounds like a bit of a mental breakdown.
Yeah. So eventually, Herb winds up working in this little thrift store And he works there for a few years. And when he thinks he finally has, knows the ins and outs of the whole business, he comes up with this business idea to his wife. And he decides they're going to open up these Save-A-Lots. I'm not talking about the grocery store chain. This was like a thrift store that they opened up, and it was really successful.
Was he ripping off the name, or was that a thing yet?
I'm sure he was ripping off the name.
Probably. Okay.
But that's what it was called, Save-A-Lot. I guess
spelled a little different.
They initially had the one store, and it did so well that they opened another store. But what is basically like a thrift store where half of the money would go to charity, and then they would keep half the money for running the business.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So,
but did the money go to charity?
I don't know.
Okay, so he said he did. He said it did anyway. Okay, yeah. Sorry, telling.
So that was around 1993 when they opened up these chains, and they do really well.
This is way more recent than I thought. Okay.
Oh yeah. And around this time, he starts making trips to like Ohio, along I-70. From Indianapolis to Ohio.
He's going to be one of those guys, isn't he? I can smell
else?
The blood in the water.
Yeah. Yep, like sharks to the slaughter, baby.
Yeah. I'm smelling what you're stepping in already, I think.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a grasp on this.
Around this same time, the summer of 1993, several men in the gay community.
No, I wasn't going to guess that at all.
In the Indianapolis area start to go missing.
Okay. That is a thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty reoccurring with serial killers. That happens a lot.
Yeah. I'm tying this in. In no way can this be backed up, but all of the evidence lines up correctly to say that Herb Baumeister is probably the I-70 killer in Indiana.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, I was going about it as like, most serial killers, they'll target, prostitutes, and then they'll game in back when nobody cared. It was like, these people won't be noticed. They won't be noticed as much. And nobody thinks as much about it. They're more like drifters and, stuff like that.
In 93 in Indianapolis, that's exactly what they were. Nobody cared. The cops didn't give a shit.
Fuck's sake.
On May 28th, 1993, John Bayer was last seen leaving work at 11 p.m. His mother filed a missing persons report like 3 days later because in Indiana, you have to be gone for 48 hours before you can file for a missing persons report.
That's ridiculous.
When she called in, she learned his car had been towed and impounded the day before because it had been there sitting long enough to get 8 parking tickets under the wipers, and his wallet was in the car.
Well, what does that sound like? That goes back to like the Pazuzu episode where the dude had been missing, and by the time she filed it, they were like, yeah, we already fucking know. We found his car a long time ago.
They didn't give a shit.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's sucks.
Yeah. Well, right. Same here. Cops didn't really take it too seriously because the area that his car was found in was known to be frequented by male prostitutes, and they just assumed he'd run off with some dude. Okay.
Of course you do. You leave your car and your wallet when you just fall madly in love. That's what you do. Okay.
Yeah. And you don't go back to get your last paycheck.
No, of course not. Who needs it? I'm in love now. This pays the bills.
Living on love, baby.
I'm going to start singing Bon Jovi if we don't move on.
So about a month later, July 31st, in early July, about a month later, a 31-year-old Jeff Jones disappeared again. He was last seen leaving a rehab center. He was known to frequent the local gay bars, and he was known to be as friendly as possible and one of those people that would just help out anybody that needed help.
Those are always the people that get slaughtered.
Yeah.
They're the most trusting people that just, yeah.
So before the month's up, another person, Richard Hamilton, leaves his house to go get a pack of smokes about 2 a.m. Never comes back.
Well, smoking kills.
I guess. Then only like about a week later, August 7th, Alex Livingston and Manuel Resendez both go missing on the same day.
Oh, he's raging now. He's getting ramped up, huh?
Yeah. And then no more missing gay men until the following summer.
Ooh, so sometimes they do go on hiatus. They'll take
Well,
breaks. It's just
The
like,
this is the reason I think Herb is the killer, because every one of these killings coincided with him traveling to go get merchandise for his store or his wife and kids being out of town.
oh, he's like Chikatilo.
Yeah. So no more missing gay men in Indianapolis until the next summer, the summer of 1994. And then June 6th, that summer, Alan Bussard was last seen leaving a gay bar called Brothers. And
That's not bad. It's not a bad name.
it's not bad. Not bad at all. No.
Take it.
And then the next month, 31-year-old Roger Goodlett leaves his mother's house, gets on a bus, and he never comes home. And the cops
How
told
many times does that happen though? You get on a Greyhound.
yeah, she waited like about a week because, you know, he's over 30 years old, you know.
Yeah.
She figured, you know, maybe, but yeah, after about a week she goes, and the cops tell her she needs to wait 30 days before she can
What?
file a missing persons report because he's an adult. And they just assume, just like the other men that disappeared, that he's just fucking gone off and he's not here anymore.
Yeah, but some of that you got to take into the account the fact that these people know this person, and if they're saying this is not the way this person acts,
that's the only people that were looking for all these there's their friends and their family. That's the only people who cared. Roger's mom ends up hiring a private investigator named Virgil Vandegrift, and she also puts up missing person flyers all over Indianapolis. And at this point, the cops finally figure, okay, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe. So they start frequenting all these gay bars and start asking some questions to see if they can find any information. And they get one lead from a guy named Rick Rigney, who claimed to have seen the last victim, Roger, hitchhiking on the night that he went missing, stating that he had waved to him and Roger waved back at him, and then he'd gotten a ride from another man.
See, I know hitchhiking used to be big back in the 70s, but I thought people have gotten out of that by now.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is listen to the stories. Jeez.
All these guys were pretty much the same age, height, weight, and all in Indianapolis. So
he had a type.
Yeah. So in 92, the cops were contacted by this guy named Tony Harris. He was a patron at one of these gay bars. And he says that this guy calling himself Brian Smart had killed his friend. He was sure of it, and had attempted to kill him with a pool hose during an erotic asphyxiation session at his house.
Of all things to use to choke somebody out, a fucking pool hose?
Right.
Damn.
So
okay.
He said he saw this guy walk in, and then he saw the missing person poster, and he just kind of did a double take on it, and he kind of felt this guy out. He said he was a lot bigger than this guy, and he thought he could probably take care of himself, and so that's why he went back to this house with this guy.
Well, you might be bigger, but if he's got you in a position where he's got a pool hose around your neck,
yeah. He said that this guy took him back to this house, this mansion, you know, out in the country, somewhere outside the city limits of Indianapolis.
I think I know where you're going there.
He doesn't know, you know, he could only remember seeing something that said farm on the sign that said farm on it at this house.
Okay. I don't want to ruin anything coming. Is this the fucking asshole that had like mannequins set up and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Everything started sounding familiar. I was like, I think I've heard this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
All right. You feeling pretty good about yourself now, Matt?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
I'm proud of myself for remembering things after the somas last week.
Right. Well, so he goes back to this Brian Smart's house with him, and yeah, he pretends to be dead, basically. And then when he stops, this Brian person, you know, releases him, he kind of sits there for a few minutes. Then he gets back up and then he freaks out. Brian does. And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know,
you're supposed to be dead.
He basically confronts him and says, you're the one that's killing all these fucking guys, right? And this guy just laughs it off. And,
whoa.
And just so he can get away, he just tries to play it cool. They do some cocaine, continue to drink a little bit. He waits till this guy passes out, and then he makes him take him back to Indianapolis the next day. But he can't remember exactly where this guy's house is at. And the cops say, well, we can't really do shit until you get us a license plate number.
Okay, so, I don't get hanging out with the dude after he 100% tried to kill you and failed, and then you sit around and do drugs and drink with him.
Well, that's a sketchy part.
Yeah, that doesn't add up. That doesn't make any sense.
I kind of have my own suspicions, but I'll wait to the very end of this before I go into that.
I can't wait. Okay.
So, finally about, this guy's supposed to meet him again. And the cops come, but he never shows. This Brian, smart person. So the cops are just like, well, if you can get us a license plate number, we can do something.
Well, if you can't remember where the house is at, I don't know how you're going to,
Yeah.
Wait for you to pop back up, I suppose.
Yeah. So eventually he sees this man again in August of 1995 and gets the plate number.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Okay. He gives it to the cops, and then the cops put two together. This guy's not Brian Smart, it's Herb Baumeister.
All right.
So at that point, the private investigator I mentioned earlier and the cops both approached Baumeister, told him he was a suspect in the disappearances of all these men, and they asked him to search the house. And he refuses. He's like, no,
okay.
You're gonna have to go through my lawyer, which he did not have, by the way. He gave them a name of a lawyer, which he did not have.
Give him time to clean some shit up before they come back.
Well, yeah. And then the cops get the runaround saying, like, what the fuck are you talking about? This guy's not my client. And then they go back again, and he just repeats it. And in the meantime, he'd put this lawyer, he'd hired the lawyer. And then basically the lawyers say, nope, you have no evidence. Nope, forget it.
Wow.
So then they approach Herb's wife, Julie, and she also, refuses to allow them to search the property. And
boy, he had her buffaloed, huh?
Fuck yeah. Real good, man. Real good.
So was he killing gay men because he thought he could get away with that, or was he actually gay and fighting with himself, maybe?
He was totally gay, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he was okay. That's all.
I'll get in.
All right.
I'll get in that in a minute. But
okay.
So by 96, June of 96, Julie gets pretty frightened by her husband's now very erratic behavior, and she files for divorce. And when the cops come back again to her, Herb's basically told her that he's suspected of stealing shit, of theft. And when the cops come back again, it's like, no, it's not theft. We think he's might be behind some of these murders. And she's like, what the fuck?
Wake up call there.
And the reason she says what the fuck is because when her kid is out playing in the woods behind their house,
oh no,
he finds a fucking skull. Okay. And
Herb, you lazy bastard. You got to dig a little deeper, my man. What are you doing?
So this kid brings the skull up to his mom, and she's like, what the fuck is this? And she asks her,
I know what it is.
What the fuck is this? And Herb says, oh, no. That's one of my dad's old, skull. He had a skull.
Oh, from his job, the job that he used to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He was a doctor. He's like, I just fucking buried it. It's like, it was in the garage. I was sick of looking at it. I just buried it. And she just kind of like, oh, she bought it. She buys it. It's understandable.
She didn't remember seeing the actual fucking skeleton in the garage, or she's just in complete denial right now, most likely.
Oh yeah, total. She's been in denial for a long time.
It seems like it. Oh man,
it's not just a river in Egypt, baby.
Yeah. Lindley with 2 points.
But bum. All right, so they'd been married since 1971. They had had 3 children, but when interviewed, she stated that they'd been sexually intimate 6 times in 25 years.
What?
You don't think he's gay?
No, you're going to have to repeat that. I mean, seriously?
6 times.
And they had 3 kids?
And had 3 kids.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That dude's potent as hell. Well, I mean, if it was all built up, I suppose, but
Yeah.
6 times, and you had that guy's batting 500.
Yeah.
As far as making babies, that's insanity.
No.
6 times in that many years?
Yep.
And she didn't think anything was up. Nope. Nothing to think about here. We suspect your husband was killing gay men. And she just didn't go, ding dong, ding dong. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, that poor woman.
Yeah. So at this point, Herb is on vacation with his children. You know, they're legally separated. He's staying in the guest house on their property most of the time. So he takes his kids and he goes to a lake home that his parents owned, I believe.
Oh no, something happened to the kids.
No, they're good. They're good. So
better than my last story then.
They go get the kids from Herb before they ever go search the house, because now Julie's fucking really concerned about their well-being. And
I get that.
So, and Herb's just like, whatever, you know, she's being a bitch. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Probably because she's sexually frustrated. You fucking asshole.
Could be. So the cops go to search this 18-acre estate, Fox Hollow Farm.
There you go. Yeah.
While Baumeister's on vacation, they find the remains of 11 men.
Damn.
11 men. Only 8 of which are identified.
So he's bringing that shit. He's bringing work home with him. I mean, he's...
Yeah. This is what I think. See, Herb bought this giant fucking mansion right after the business was doing well. So I think that he went from killing men on the road to bringing them back home when his wife's gone.
Oh, and then he's got all the time in the world to toy with them and do whatever he wants. Because if all you're finding skeletons, you have no idea what he actually did. Okay.
And they don't know how many technically bodies there are. Like when they start looking for these bodies, these bones, they find hundreds and hundreds of bone fragments out behind their house.
Oh shit.
And like it got to the point, apparently Herb was getting pretty fucking lazy, because it was like literally like you step a foot into the woods off their bone fragment. Yeah. So
wow. Or he was dropping, because who knows what he was carrying out there. I mean, bone fragments could have been falling from whatever he had done. I mean, holy shit. It's like Dahmer used to like smash up the bones into small pieces and drop them in the driveway or whatever. And I mean, if he was smashing everything up.
During the same period, the neighbors contact the police and say, hey, you know, look in the ravine behind our house. There's like a ditch, you know, like a waterway.
Oh no.
And there's bone fragments in there, probably from where animals have fucking drug them out of the woods. And
yep.
Yeah.
Dude.
So they put a warrant out for his arrest, and Herb flees to Ontario. Okay.
You'll get a lighter sentence up there. I fucking guarantee it.
So
5 years.
Yeah.
You only killed 37 people. 5 years.
At one point,
unless you're nice, we'll let you out in 2.5.
At one point before Herb's demise, he's stopped by, like, a park ranger sees his car, but they don't know what he's in a different country. They're not looking for him there.
Yeah. And
this park ranger remembers, stopping because he'd parked kind of in the park on the side, and she asked what he was doing. He's like, I'm driving somewhere. I just stopped to take a rest for a while. She said she noticed all these videotapes in the back of the car.
No.
So
He recorded all that shit he did, didn't he?
Okay, so
I
he
bet
had, I didn't,
amount of spank tapes he had. I bet
this guy had this house. I didn't mention that's bad of me. This house had an indoor pool in the basement. Okay, and in this indoor pool room, Herb had a camera set up. So I'm guessing he probably had video evidence of most of these guys.
And I bet he was a big fan of watching them.
Yeah, probably got him off to watch it over and over again.
Yeah,
we know the story. They all won a trophy.
Yeah.
Ed had his nipple belt.
Yeah. A lot of guys keep things. Dahmer had a shrine.
Yep. Herb was no different. But what is different is how he was found. So
found.
Yeah.
So he never was caught and did time. Okay.
Fuck no.
All right. This fucking coward. Okay.
Supposedly, Herb shot himself in the head, leaving a suicide note, in which he described his failing marriage, business ending, and that's the reason he was killing himself. He did not confess to any of the murders of any of the men found in his backyard. And I think he ended it by saying, well, I'm going to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now, and then I'm going to go to sleep.
So what, he laced his sandwich with something? He did shoot himself. He actually did shoot him. Yeah. Okay.
Whoever found him said that he's laying on the beach, pristine. Like, his hair is fucking perfect. His body was present. Like, it looked like he was supposed to go right in the casket. Like, his skin was nice and waxy, and he's just sitting there with his eyes wide. He's got a bullet hole in his head, and there's 2 dead seagulls right next to him, and it looked like it was like a shrine. Guess what they didn't find? A gun. How the fuck do you shoot yourself in the head and not have a gun there? Guess what else they didn't find? Any of those fucking videotapes in the car.
Of course not. Fuck's sake. There's the evidence right there. He got rid of all that shit, didn't he?
Well,
but how do you get rid of the gun after you shoot yourself? Get rid.
Yeah. How do you? Do you boom and then throw it?
No, there's no fucking way. No,
yeah, you can't.
You
I don't care how fast you are.
Stop. You boom and stop.
Boom and done, son.
But I don't know. Somebody walking by the beach in need of money. They just see some dude. Well, this guy killed himself anyway. I can get some money out of this gun.
Yeah.
I suppose you could pick it up. He probably dump all the videotapes in the water, most likely.
That's it. Nobody knows.
Okay.
That's kind of a little conspiracy theory that, there was somebody else doing this with him, and they think maybe they killed Herb, and then they took off with the gun.
It was a tag team event kind of deal.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, there's been those in the past.
Yeah. So Baumeister was, primary suspect of killing these 12 men. And then all of the other men from the I-70 killings during that time.
Yeah, there was a few, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. We're talking like 20 plus.
Yeah.
This guy could have killed 20 plus people. That's fucking huge.
That's big numbers. That's big. That's not Green River Killer numbers, but that's big numbers.
Yeah. And I think more than likely, Herb was probably really into erotic asphyxiation, and maybe the first time was an accident, and
he came harder than he ever had before in the past, and now he's found what he's into. Gee,
God, you really went there? Fuck.
Oh man. Yeah. That's the thing. Most of the serial killers, it's mostly, not all of them, but most of it's sexually driven. Just freaking.
Yeah, it's
a lot of them don't like the killing, but if he's videotaping it all, I'm assuming he likes the killing, and that's part of what gets him off.
Yeah.
Like Dahmer just wanted a body, Geen just wanted a body.
Yeah. So that's only half the story.
Okay, what's the other half we're doing here?
Well, the other half would be that this house sat empty for a long, long, long time. A long, long time.
I bet there's still bones out there that haven't been found.
It was like 2009. In May 2009, the house is finally purchased by this gentleman named Robert Graves with his wife, Vicky.
Appropriate last names.
Yeah. And, they went and looked at this house. They put it in an offer. They lowballed it. But
fair enough.
And then it continued to sit empty for 5 more years. And then whoever had it, I guess they were the only people that ever put an offer in on the house. And then they finally agreed on a reasonable sum that everybody thought it was okay.
Well, if it had an indoor pool, it was probably a really decent sized home. I mean,
oh, dude, yeah, 11,000 square feet.
No, you're doing all right. That's a lot to clean, man.
That's not including the pool, which is in the basement.
That's plenty of house.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking vacuuming and dusting, man.
Yes, it is.
So as soon as they move in, Vicky, the wife, she starts seeing this guy in the woods, and they're thinking, okay, this is somebody that knows about the history of the property, and they're just scoping,
you would have amateur ghost hunters out there all the time. You would think, trying to sneak on to see if they could capture something. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Only she said this guy's got a red shirt on, but she said she saw him walking towards this tree, but he didn't have any fucking legs.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm interested.
She said she saw it twice before she ever told her husband, Robert, about this. And Robert's like, all right, I've been married to my wife for 20 years. Never in my fucking life has she ever mentioned anything like this before.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So
was it, I wonder if it was like the same path every time she's seen it. Like, was it residual or
I'm guessing it was probably residual. Yeah.
Okay.
But so Robert contacts a couple different paranormal groups. They go out to this farmhouse, and it is now supposedly the most haunted house in Indiana.
Man, Indiana's pretty popular for haunted shit too. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff in that state.
Yeah. A lot of these sightings take place in the basement. And both the Graveses claim that, they've plugged the vacuum cleaner in and then turn around because it's constantly unplugged from the wall. Like they'll turn it on and it's not turning on, and it's unplugged from the wall.
Okay, well, I'm not putting any weight into that shit because those cords only stretch so far. Yeah. I've unplugged the vacuum before and I knew it wasn't a fucking ghost. It was like, no, you dumbass, you got to plug that in a different outlet. You're too far away now.
Yeah. So, they also had a renter move into the guest house named Joe LeBlanc. So he stayed in the in-law quarters. And he says that he continually heard knocking on his door, usually around 1:30 in the morning every night. He said he physically saw the door just be kicked open, knocking into the wall by itself. Deadbolts whip open on their own. And items.
That's not how that's supposed to work.
Items being moved in the apartment when he's in the apartment and the door's locked overnight, like shit moving.
Yeah.
From like counter to table or, stuff like that.
That's not what you want.
And also lots of EVPs and shit like that. At one point, I guess Joe had a friend come over with his daughter, and they go by the pump room to the pool house. And she looks inside and she tells her daddy to be quiet because those men are sleeping in there.
Oh, okay. I got chills from that. Yeah, I don't like that.
That's fucking creepy, right?
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. So overall, I think there's been like 8 or 9 different investigations of this property. Many psychics, demonologists. They claim that there's possibly a demon on the property.
Okay,
definitely some residual stuff going on. And most of it, they say, is probably from these people that are dead that they haven't been found yet or identified.
Well, you got to think that much negative activity, like super negative activity like that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? I mean, who knows?
It's a fucking magnet for that shit.
Yeah, you would think so. Man, that's, oh my goodness. That's so much. That's just so much shit happening
Yeah. But, despite all this shit going on, the Graves, as far as I know, they still live there.
Really?
Yeah, they said they love it there. They've been dealing with it.
Despite this demon and ghostly activity, that must be a nice fucking house, man.
Oh, it
That's
is.
a lot.
You can find it online. It's huge.
It's a lot to put up with.
It's a lot of work. That's for damn sure. What was I going to say? Oh, most of the info I got on this, I got from watching a documentary called The Haunting at Fox Hollow Farm and a book by Richard Estep and Robert Graves, the owner.
Yep.
Called The Horrors of Fox Hollow Farm. The book's pretty decent. It kind of goes into the background of old Herb, and then it kind of goes over all the paranormal accounts of one of these investigations that took place over like a 2-month period. So if you would like to learn more about it, I suggest you go check out that book, or you can watch the boring ass doc.
We had to break it down and do a little bit of a smaller episode this time after last one, but
oh my god, yes.
The Soma episode was too much. I think we needed a little bit of a break.
I had to detox, man.
Have some coffee, man. that was good. No, I like that. I know I had heard that story somewhere, but I don't remember. As soon as you start talking about like the indoor pool, I was like, what's that with the fucking, did this weirdo have mannequins set up everywhere? Is that the same story? Okay.
Yeah. The person I told you that initially contacted the police saying that he thought this was the guy, he actually, in the movie, he's in it, and he describes why the mannequin were there was because Herb didn't like to be alone. But when Herb was talking about the mannequins, he referred to himself in the third person.
Oh, gee whiz.
Like, he was calling himself Brian Smart, and he was like, well, Brian doesn't like to be alone, so Brian has the mannequins here.
Oh, my. How insufferable. How did that woman do it for as long as she did?
You mean not do it for as long as she did?
That's more appropriate.
Yeah.
Zach for another 2?
Hey, man, I'm doing my part. Well, guys, that's all I got. You got anything else, Matt?
No, I just wanted to talk about like this Saturday, guys. If no, this will be released after. Yep, right. But Saturday nights we're doing live streams, so get on. We've got some people that are interested in getting on and telling us some stories ahead of time, and we can't wait to have them on live to talk about it. So if you're out there and you've got, like, a lot of people don't have a long story to tell. Well, you don't need to have a long story to tell. You fucking saw a UFO one time. Get on and tell us about it. We'll fucking talk about it. It'll be fun. Fuck
yeah. Once again, that's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live at our channel, which you can find at HMFPPOD. You can also email us if you would like at hmfppod@gmail.com. And fuck, that's all.
The last one that we ran, we broke to the screen to show everybody, and it just like killed us. It was like our mics died, and then we came back on and we were talking. I was like, "How fuck? We're not doing that anymore because it's scrolling underneath the screen the whole time anyway. You'll be able to find it." Well,
yeah, it's all.
Yeah, good. We won't bother you with that shit anymore. Well, I was like, I didn't even think anything about it while we were doing it, and then when I went back and watched it, I was like, "Oh no, yeah, you can't talk when that happens."
It's a learning curve, buddy.
Yeah, we're both of us, man.
I'm still fucking figuring it out. All right, guys, sure. That's all we got for this week. We'll see you next week. So, I'm Zach.
Spar.
And we'll see you next Tuesday. Later.
It's
evil! Don't touch it!
It's alive!
I was with you.
They're coming to get you by the power of Christ.
This is Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Okay. What the fuck?